Hey everyone, welcome back to Selector Spread. We're across the we're at the final episode, episode 12, this selection, and I have Skyline with me.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we made it to the final episode, and things I guess they get resolved, sort of, kind of, yeah,
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
yeah. See how it goes. But yeah, basically this is starts off with Tama escaping her prison, and I guess she's trying to climb this well to get out. It reminded me of the last Batman movie. I'm like, oh my god, she's Bruce Wayne trying to crawl the well, but yeah, she figures out that's a door and escapes. Gets out easily, which was like
I,
kind of weird for me.
I don't know where that came from. It's just, oh, I could just take a door. How do I take a door? Well, I'll just make one. And then she makes one, and then
Just
she
make a
leaves.
door.
It's like, what? Okay, go with that. Go with that. Let's see what you do afterwards, though.
Yet Tama breaks through dimensional portal walls, what do you want to call them? Just
Hmm.
walks out like no big deal. Like, hey, I should have done this earlier. So it was kind of weird, but yeah. But I think the weirdest part is coming up next with Yuki, and she's kind of doing her "I'm dying" type thing. Oh no, fading away, and I guess Tama walks out and they fuse into one body, which is kind of weird, but
Yeah, Tamakama
why
walked out
not?
like a boss, didn't she?
Yeah, she's like, I got this. Like
She
usually
kind of
she's
came
kind of go ahead.
strutting like a boss. I kind of liked that. That was cool.
Yeah, usually she's all like, oh, battle No, she's just like, I'm done with that. This is the end. We're gonna finish this fight. And I thought it was kind of interesting that they stay full size. So it's like you said mentioned last week about the them turning into like a stands. So it's kind of almost like that this week a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, a little bit.
they're full size, just like the other girls, and they're fighting this. Even the cards are like giant size. So maybe
Hmm.
they got shrunk down or something. I don't know, but it was pretty cool.
Possibly.
And I guess, Ruko named her Mayu because that is who she really is technically. If you take all the parts put in one.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the big surprise for it. That's the thing that actually drove the rest of the episode home, didn't it?
hmm It was just like, I guess the real Mayu was seeing how Ruko was treating the other one was like, why is she being so nice to her? And all this, I guess, confused her. And that kind of threw her off
Hmm.
a little bit. And, ultimately it led to her losing, but Ruko kind of, had this, they still had to fight, Lilith and everything. So.
Hmm.
Then you have, Hito and Kazui still looking for Mayu's body, but they get to the house and I guess they comment that it looks like a lonely room, and they don't even find a body or anything. So I guess
Nope.
it's kind of weird that maybe I guess she died a long time ago, and it makes
Mm,
sense. I
family
mean,
prob Yeah, family probably moved on. It was probably curated to the least possible way it could be.
right?
Everything locked up. They just kind of left.
Yeah, because they get there last week. It was just a maintenance man out there doing the yard work. So I assume the
Hmm.
place is just run down. No one's been there for quite some time. So. And I guess Mayu reveals that she was never given the opportunity to select before she died, which I guess is
Hmm.
kind of a thing they throw in there at the end. That I guess all the girls
Mm.
did something like that. They chose this kind of life or something
Felt
like
like
that.
she was more or less basically saying, "I never had a chance to have a life." When you get right down to it.
Right? Yeah, I guess never given the chance,
Hmm.
which was kind of sad and depressing for her. But I mean that's her character. It's kind of really revealed that she didn't have very much. And even Ruko keeps telling her repeatedly over and over again, doesn't have to be this way. We talk things out, all this. But yeah, I think after revealing that whole, oh, I'm dead, I've been dead, kind of threw Ruko off like, okay, maybe it's not going to work. Maybe I can't just friendship hug this away.
So the entire selector system was built on the power of an angry ghost.
Yeah, it sounds like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like a haunted house. It's a haunted deck of cards,
Yeah, haunted card game.
or a haunted card factory, or something along those lines. Holy crap! That just makes it really crazy.
Yeah, and after all that, the battle continues, and I guess there's a part where after she beats her, I guess Mayu gives her one final chance to like guess a card that she has. Like I guess yeah, guess what color it was, and she guessed. I was
Guess what
like,
color
oh
the
my
card
god, yeah,
is?
this final ditch effort to win or whatever. And then
Hmm.
yeah, and then when she chooses the right card, Lilith in the background just kind of gets sucked up by the tentacle things and basically gets destroyed. I was like, no, Tiger, no.
Holy
It was pretty brutal.
crap!
Yeah.
That was brutal as hell. I did not expect that from the show. I kind of expected to be kind of like, either off camera or like not necessarily censored, but kind of blocked in a fashion to where you could get what happened without seeing it so much. It reminded me of a much better, much more interesting version of like what happened with the evil ghosts at the end of that movie, Ghost. Patrick
Uh-huh.
Swayze's friend that was actually a jerk.
Right, yeah.
He got dragged off into like the shadowy ghost realm, kicking and screaming and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm just talking about, yeah,
Don't
he's yeah.
don't know what was up with the whole, oh, your card is colorless. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Right.
Your
A
card is
blank
colorless. Like,
card.
is that white or blank? Or if it's blank, it's white. It kind of felt like, oh, your favorite color is 3. What?
Favorite color is goldfish. Thanks for winning.
Your
You know,
favorite color is goldfish. Thanks for winning. Yay.
you win the prize. But yeah, it was very weird seeing that. The whole last little card game they played. But yeah, after that, she finally does give Mayu a hug, and Mayu's just like, oh, no one's been nice to me or kind to me or said my name or held me this way. So, I mean, it was kind of nice seeing that Ruka, did kind of fix everything with a hug, sort of. But I guess helped maybe Mayu move on.
Well, remember, she could hear outside her door. She could hear someone like her dad or like a male guardian or something like that referring to her as that.
That thing or that you can say that like
That
that.
thing or this thing or something like that. So now we know why we got, all those odd naming conventions for episode titles.
Right, yeah, that's true. And so I guess, with that being the final fight between those two, Riku finally gets to make her wish. But she kind of changes it slightly to the wish is now, I guess, give all the girls, I guess, bodies and everything so they can go back to their real world. So basically, I didn't think of that, giving all the girls, even the selectors, even all in the bodies back. So they get back out in the real world now, which is kind of nice, I guess.
Even the ones that started as Allred get to go out and be human. And I wonder how they're going to cope with that. I wonder if they're going to be happy about that. Or maybe they were all selectors to begin with when you get right down to it. The
Right.
only real true Allrigs being Tama and or Shiro and Kuro.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that pretty much would be right. Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing that
Mhm.
whole scene, the end, the credits playing. You do see like the
Oh
cards
yeah.
and the girls, kind of like the ones that have the cards and all them. Well, kind of like you see them the scenes together, but they're not really talking. Like the buzz scene, that one's getting off,
Not
one's
really
getting
talking.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, just getting off. So there's that whole idea that their worlds aren't exactly intersecting and different things like that. And I wonder if it was Eldora that gave uh, Chiori that card near the end there, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, it was. I think so. And
And Ruko was
yeah,
just walking by. That's the thing she was doing.
yeah, I thought yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing that. Just and you do see the tower is finally complete in that. So maybe it's kind of trying to show you that it was maybe a time skip a little bit. They don't really exactly say how long it's been, but maybe fast forward somewhere.
Couple months.
Right, could have been easily. And then if the battle's
Yeah,
over,
we'll
like I
see.
said, the girls get original bodies back, and the last shot we see is like Ruko kind of like wandering by herself, and she goes past the shop where she's had that vision of the girls eating ice cream together, and you know they see
And Tama's not there.
right, Tom was not there. You would have thought she'd be standing there waiting for her. I mean, it would have been a nice ending, but they did it a different way. Where
Hmm.
Tom was just on a rooftop on a building somewhere. Don't know where, but she's out there in the real world now.
Why? Why? They had. I mean, are they intending to like tell another story where Tama ends up trying to find Ruka? I mean, why? Just give the happy ending. Just have them meet, see their eyes go, and then boom, you ended it. You ended it. They met each other, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, I
I don't
was
know
kind of
why they
hoping
chose to do
that.
that. That
Yeah, it felt
felt kind
kind
of
of weird.
artificial.
Yeah, it did. I was just, this a little bit disappointed they didn't play that out. They could have easily done that, or easily had them hanging out at the beginning and then walking together. But yeah, maybe they're just trying to say, well, there's more to tell, maybe. But in my opinion, it's like I don't know what they can do. Maybe an OVA or a movie. But even that, it's like, what where you have their girls doing the entire time. So
Exactly. Turn it into a slice of life show.
yeah, unless you're gonna do like a K-On type thing where they go a trip together and they kind of hang out and but then everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be Yuri ending, or you know, if it happens, it happens, whatever.
Oh, so sometimes the things you put in my brain are really, really wrong because I was just seeing, Tama and Yuko and Yuzuki and all sorts of strange things happening with her brother while they were visiting London.
Yeah, they can do that. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, there's there's a
Moving
lot of
on.
loose stories, loose ends. You have to still show like, hey, did this happen? Maybe did that happen? You don't know. I think that's the thing about the ending I don't really like, but it's fine. And extras from the episode, Tama Yuki, fusing was kind of cool. Just but then I guess the final form looked a little weird. The colors looked a little bit different, but
Mm-hmm.
it works, I
Oh,
guess.
it was kind of really, yeah, it was kind of like, let's take some of the parts that don't work for the character and some of the parts that don't work for the other character and combine them. And just like, wow, that's just really awkward.
Yeah, you would think
But,
it'd be
it served.
all black and white with her, because
Mm-hmm.
what were you gonna say?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say something else. And I could say everything was solved with a hug. Technically, sort of, maybe. I don't know, not really, maybe. It's so weird.
Okay, let's just say it was solved with a hug. Are we okay with this?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I wasn't expecting this knockout, drag out, duel between these two girls. I would have loved that, but yeah, it's that I figured they're gonna end it kind of easily. And then I think we both agree we both wanted to see Tama and Riko kind of meet at the end, but they didn't really do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I mean, that would have been the better ending in my opinion.
They had a little chicken ending. Little cheep, 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 cheep.
Yeah, exactly. And last thing I'm gonna do here is a series overview of the whole entire series, even including parts of season 1 if you want to throw that in there. So I was gonna ask your question to you. Did your original feelings change after watching the first episode to seeing the final? Like originally when you thought you were gonna watch it, did you think it was gonna be anything special or not? Nothing really.
For season 2?
For me, for like a little bit of both, I guess.
Well, I thought it's a split core. It's one of those things that you build up anticipation from the skip season to the next, and I thought they did a really good job with the last episode of the first series and bridging it to the first episode of the second series. It didn't really break continuity all that much, and I thought that they were adding more to it, and at the same time they were kind of reminding you of what happened the previous time you were with it. So they did that. A couple of weak episodes here and there. I think you and I discussed like 2 or 3 felt like they were kind of floundering around. And then once all the stuff happening with Akira, learning about Ula's background, that just kind of kept on going right down there towards the end.
Yeah, I mean,
and so, and they did it in typical fashion because they always had those reveals just ready and waiting to go for you.
I would say every episode at least ends on a cliffhanger or a surprise, like, tune in next week type thing, a hook to get you to come back next week. And overall, from like season 1, like you said, they kind of did a very good job of linking the seasons together. But there all were some like weak moments in the beginning, like it was just slow to start back up, to get back into the craziness and all the the wishing and all the battles and stuff. But it was nice seeing Eldora and you got the other girls, you got the writer of the novel finally show up. So you had these little pieces. Everything was coming together, but I think the weakest part was it's just them throwing random rules as they went along near the end. Especially with Mayu.
Yeah.
I mean, she is the original creator of the game, but so I mean, I guess she was able to do that stuff. But it felt a little weird that they just kind of threw some. Oh, this happens too. Extras in there.
Yeah, when you end up with a character that can kind of do anything, they really end up not doing anything at all. It just it's kind of people need it doesn't necessarily have to be a box that limits creativity, but you have to kind of, if you put them in a box, make your description of the box really good. That way people understand where they're at. But, Mayu kind of felt like she was making things up as she went along. And that was a bit of a weakness for the show. But I thought they did fairly good at reining it in.
Oh, right, yeah. It wasn't like they're making every rule on the fly. I mean, they did stick to some of them.
Yeah. They kind of kept it. They kind of kept who she was and what she was mysterious because, well, it's an escalation in monsters, an escalation of your antagonists in any kind of franchise or anything like that. Because I mean, if Doctor Who never had the Daleks ever again, I think that would be fine because the Daleks are boring these days. There's nothing exciting about them.
Right.
So
yeah.
That's the less sometimes the more mystery and the more ooh, what is that that it creates.
Yeah. Most of my favorite TV shows do that. Walking Dead does that. They haven't really explained where the virus comes from, so they're keeping that under
Hmm.
wraps, which is nice. So I mean, if they revealed it, like you said, it would be kind of boring. Like, well, that's wrapped up. Now what? You know. So yeah, Rick Ross kind of kept you on your toes, thinking like, oh, maybe this is gonna happen. Like, nope, this is gonna happen. He switched it up a lot.
Hmm.
And do you have a favorite L Rig slash Selector or any of that?
Oh, I saw that and I was thinking maybe I don't have to answer that because, that's a little bit difficult to go back into. But I think for pure entertainment value, I liked Eldora and Shiori the most just because they were a little bit annoying, but they were also really fun. And the dynamic of her just basically trying to be the most gracious loser she possibly could in Eldora towards Shiori. It was a hopeless cause. It was hopeless. She didn't have a chance, but she stuck with her. And that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I like those two as a pair. Just
Hmm.
well, more towards Eldora because of voice actor. But yeah, those two are
Hmm.
interesting pair compared to, like you said, all the other girls who are kind of like gloom and doom. We have this opposite side, this bright light of another L-Rig Selector combo that
Hmm.
weren't like, oh no, the world's doomed and all this. They're just excited. But Shiori was, like you said, didn't really stand a chance against any of these girls at all. And then for the second one would be like, the opposite. You have Akira on the other end of that, which is like this pure evil, who's just
Oh,
out to
yes.
screw everyone, doesn't care. Even with Lilith kind of pushing her, which I like that part of Lilith kind of pushing Kara to get back into her old self and kind of bitter back
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
bitter later. But yeah, I felt kind of bad that they didn't show anything with Kara near the end. I was kind of curious what happened to her, but
Yeah, well, Yona kind of glanced, rather nicely at that magazine with both of them on the cover, but
right.
you can't tell if that's like 2 years ago or a year ago or if it's a very recent one and Akira's all fine and well. I get, Ruko's wish of, everything going back to normal and good, probably restored things a little bit.
Yeah, I imagine
I
so.
hope.
Yeah. I would hope so. Yeah. And would you recommend, or this is what basically should you watch? If would you recommend this to anyone that hasn't seen it? I mean, both seasons, I
You
guess.
know, I would probably be comfortable recommending it to an anime fan that's probably watched anime for a little while.
Mhm.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could just have a Blu-ray disc and sit down with someone and say, "Oh, here, watch this out of the blue," because I think the idea that it was a card game battle that didn't really have any card game mechanics or anything like that to it, and sometimes people don't want that despair-driven kind of "oh my god" kind of storytelling done. So it's not an easy one to recommend, but it's one of those shows which I think if you can kind of groove on that sort of thing, it's kind of ready-made for you.
Yeah, I feel that way too. I mean, it's like something that even people that watch Madoka kind of get confused on certain things. Even people
Hmm.
that watch Evangelion get confused on things. So a show like this is, like you said, this
Yeah.
thing is something you need. You need kind of a backlog of anime to at least to get into this. I feel.
Not a big one, not a big
Yeah,
one,
not a
but
big one. Yeah.
you kind of have to understand because hey, anime fans, if you're new to this, don't know if you know it or not, but the Japanese do tell stories differently than we do, and so sometimes the pacing, the dialogue, and the performances are going to be a little bit wacky at times, and you need to get used to that. So this is probably one of those shows that kind of fits that. Not too terribly much, I don't think. Now that I've said it,
Right.
let me think back. Yeah, it does. It does. There's some dramatic moments in there that you probably wouldn't see in an American animated production or anything like that.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah, I'd recommend it to people that are used to that sort of thing and maybe want to watch a story that does take a risk. And I think the show did take the risk.
Right, yeah, I mean, like, in my opinion, like, no one died. There wasn't a big character death in this series, but it just shows you that, anime doesn't really have to do that. I mean, most of the time people think of a shock factor, it's usually a death for a character.
The one character that deserved to die did.
Yeah, I mean, Mayu did, but it's like, but you really, I mean, she died due to, like,
Ugh.
being lonely and yellow, yeah, too. So it's like, there were some character deaths, but, it's like, I don't know, that's why I feel most anime, they feel that all a character dying is part of the drama series, but not really. Not necessarily.
that that goes right back to what Olaf said. You're going to execute me without even giving me a fighting chance? Yep.
Yeah, pretty much it was.
Yep, it's time for you to go away right now.
Yep. So I guess final score, like out of 10, what would you give WIXOSS? Yeah,
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
yeah, that's around there, 7 to 8 for me. It's it had
I
entertaining moments, but then like you said at the beginning, it was kind of slow build up the second season, but yeah.
Yeah, I take off 1 point for the ending, the Tama and Ruko list meeting ending, and then take off another point for what I thought was one of the biggest flaws of the show, but not. It was able to smooth it over, but it still felt kind of empty for me. Was the fact that, and I've mentioned this before, Ruko is the best selector ever. We
Yeah,
are told.
that's
We're
true.
not shown. We are told that. But that's the risk they took by not giving us any kind of card mechanics. They couldn't mathematically, objectively prove that. They just had to have people go, wow, you are awesome. And she'll just go, well, you know.
Might have had some help from the script, but and the writing
Yeah.
team. So
Thanks. I have a great script writer.
yeah. So I guess that's it for WIXOSS. I mean, thanks for listening, everyone that commented and liked videos. But I don't know what we're doing next with another mini talk. We're still looking around at the winter season. So maybe we do something different. Not something that's, oh my god, people are dying. Well, sort of dying.
You never know. You never know what we're going to do. We might be doing Yori Bears. We might be doing something else. Who knows?
Yep, true. So, I guess for Skyline, I guess talk to you guys next time. So, see you.
See you later.